Okay, looks good. Hey everybody, it's Saturday morning, right? BATJAC J.W. And we have the Duke. The Duke is up. You can't see the whole thing because it is such a big poster. This is a poster of Hondo. It's really neat because this was one of the things that one of the very first things I ever received from one of you guys. One of you guys sent that to me. All right, so thank you very much. That comes from Darren Baggs 6 Gun. I really appreciate it. You guys send me a lot of really cool stuff, and I really want to get it up and post it on the wall. So at some point, this whole back wall is probably going to be plastered with a whole bunch of cool stuff, or all over the place. I don't know. It might not even make it in videos. Well, we'll have to see how that shakes out. So yes, it is Saturday morning, right? We are tuned in. Coffee in the morning, right? Coffee in the morning. Maybe some of you are not tuned in the morning. Maybe you're coming to the show a little late. Maybe it's in the evening. Maybe it's at noon. Or maybe you're just at work and you're tuned in. You're not working. You're with BATJAC J.W., right? Okay. So as things roll around here, as we're coming around to the middle of June already, the heat is definitely on in the desert. I must say it is heating up. But a lot of people ask, they say, well, mostly back home, they ask, how is the weather there? You must be heating up. It's hot, no doubt. It is hot, but is it so hot that it is unmanageable or undoable? No, not out here. I'm sure there's other places that is a lot worse. So, actually, I hope this thing doesn't come down on me because I haven't quite got it tacked up the way I would like it. I'm going to have to work on it. Let me know in the comments below what's the best way to tack these things on the wall, because I've tried just about everything, even in the past. That is, of course, without actually driving thumbtacks or something into the wall and putting a bunch of holes all over the place. I've been thinking about poster putty, you know? I've been thinking about poster putty. You know, as it would be, this thing is going to come down on me in the middle of this video. We'll see. I don't know. Anyway, we're going to shake things out. And let's get going. And don't worry, I have something to show you that's not on the table yet. So you'll have to stick around. Yeah. So some of the cool things are upcoming in the channel, things we're going to be doing. You know what? In fact, I'm sorry, I forgot to write down the comments, the names of you. So I don't have a list to do some shout outs as I like to do, because I like to interact with you guys. I like to know that I know you're here, you're watching, and I acknowledge that. I really do. Okay. But, so, I apologize. I goofed that up. I didn't write it down. But, okay. Some of the things that you're going to be, I guess, hopefully excited about, as I am excited about for the channel, and some of the videos that we're going to be doing. And so some of the other odds and ends, and hopefully some of the videos that we all, hopefully you all enjoy, and some of the early stuff that we used to do. So don't worry, more of that's coming. But a lot of it for me, as I wanted to start steering into the direction and focus more on some of my favorite movies that have inspired me to basically become the collector and acquire some of the collection I have acquired, even though it's a very small collection. But that's the other question I get a lot. BATJAC, you know, like how many of these guns would you possibly own? There's a lot of them that I don't. I borrow them. I get to a gun shop and they, you know, we hit it off, and I say, hey, can I borrow this for a video, or can I use this as a video thing? Sure, well, go ahead. Yeah, absolutely. So there's a lot of times where these things are for sale in some shop, whether it be here in the desert or in Hawaii or whatnot. You know, in Hawaii, I have a lot of friends. I still have them friends. I have a lot of friends that have massive collections, or they've collected cool stuff that I couldn't afford or I couldn't have, but I'd love to bring it to the channel. There's a lot of other cool guns that, and also the benefits of working in a gun shop, that I had total permission to film any of the products that were there. So there was a lot of these guns that I was able to just photograph and pop on the channel. Now, a lot of times when I would get a firearm to photo or do a video on, a lot of times the owner did not want it to be known that it was their gun or it being lent to the channel. In some cases, yes, or some cases, most cases, no. So it just kind of comes across that we have quite a few guns here in the BATJAC inventory, but in reality, really nothing, not much. We got a few things that I like. A lot of things I trade away. I do. I really do. I'm really bad at that. I wind up, you know, getting strapped for cash and wind up trading and selling things away. Or there's something else I want, so I trade a bunch of things away to get that. And when I have that, I play with that for a little while, and then I move on to things, other things. Yeah, so that's just kind of what happens, and yeah, well, it is just the way it works out. Sometimes there's things that I buy that I get to shoot, and I get them, I pick them up, and I go to shoot them, and I say, you know what? I think I'll pass. I think I'll get rid of this thing, even though it may be a Colt or something like that, like a Colt snubby or something. I'll get to the range and I'll shoot it, and I'll say, I don't think I like this thing very much. Or maybe the significance with it doesn't really carry much for me with the association for a film or something like that. So, like I said, again, a lot of times that's it. It's just an association with a movie that really drives me. There was very, very seldom there's moments where I buy it solely for the purpose of for its functional abilities or anything like that. I really a lot of times don't care about that. I don't care that the gun, somebody says, well, that thing is not reliable and it doesn't work really well. It's prone to jamming, yada, yada, yada. If it's associated with a film that I'm really passionate about, I could care less. It's really all about that movie for me. That's what it does. That's what does it for me. That's pretty much the extent of what my firearm buying, my firearm interest. Really, that's it. I know, I'm kind of weird in a sense, and that's why I kind of started this channel, was because I started to think, I wonder if there's anybody else out there that really buys their guns and toys based on a movie. Really, that's it. And so I brought out something else here I wanted to talk about that's not a firearm, that's actually a knife. And I've done a video on it, I talked about it, and this is now this is the very first one of these I've ever owned, and I really, honestly, don't know much about them, don't know much about anything. All I know is they're expensive, I guess they're reliable. But it's a Benchmade knife, okay? And this is actually, yes, associated with a movie. Some of you already know what movie I'm going to talk about. But this one here is the Auto Striker. And of course, living out here in a state where you can own an auto knife and not get crucified for it, right? Or get thrown to the cages for owning it, which I think is just absolutely stupid. But anyway, this is an Auto Striker. And it's made by Benchmade, and I bought this solely because of a movie, and that movie is called Heist, with Danny DeVito, Gene Hackman, Delroy Lindo, and everybody. There's a lot of other cool actors in it too. Rebecca Pigeon's in it. She's really cool. She's actually she's smoking in that movie. But anyhow, I bought it solely because of that movie. Now, I must say it feels a little loose these days, or maybe it just needs to be tightened up right there. It probably does. But I bought it for that movie because there's a scene where they're going out to, if you haven't seen the movie, you might want to skip this part. I don't know. I don't know how much of a spoiler it is. Maybe it's not. But he's looking for the gold. They heist some gold. Danny DeVito wants to know if Gene Hackman has made that gold into the pieces of his boat. So he goes up and he says, yeah, give me your shiv. Guy hands it to him. Danny DeVito, from the camera shot over the shoulder, clicks out the knife, goes to try to cut into the boat on the rails to see if they're made out of gold. Finds out they're not. Now, the one that he used exactly in the movie has a serrated edge on it. And I thought about, too, like, if I was going to buy this thing, I might want to carry it and play around with it a little bit. So, I know, we're going to disagree, and let's agree to disagree or whatever that we don't agree. I'm not a fan of serrations. I'm not. I just don't. So, as I thought about maybe I possibly might be carrying it as a utility knife or whatever, whatnot, I decided to get the non-serrated edge. Yeah, but although I must say, after a while, I realized that these things are not cheap. They're not cheap at all. They're definitely above my comfort level of purchasing knives for the price. This is not a cheap knife at all. So that's what kind of deterred me from carrying it, really, honestly, because I didn't want to lose it because I'm a klutz that way, and I just misplace stuff or lose things like that. So I didn't want to have that happen to this thing, especially for how much it cost. And then when I saw the MSRP of these things, but hey, thanks to the power of the internet, I can find out these things like what was that knife? What was that gun that he uses in that movie? Now, when it comes to these auto knives, I know that this is a bit tactical or modern for me because I really don't. That's not really my interest. I like stuff like this. These are cool. I just love these things. These are the old Italian styled switchblade knives from way back, all the way. Now this one here has actually been dulled for a movie. We were skits, and it's basically been made into a prop knife, so there's no edge on it. And this was actually we used this in one of old Santee's videos in the Arizona Ghost Riders channel. We actually used this knife. I also got the knife that was also used by Dirty Dan in the mustache episode. So we have fun with them, and that's what these things are for me, are movie props and things that we can use in film, because that's, of course, again, the association with these things for me. It's not necessarily, well, yeah, these things are not reliable, again, blah, blah, blah. But it's not that. It's about the movie thing for me. So this was the one we used in the Wanted poster episode, where he opens up that poster like this, and I come up from behind it and slash through the poster. And of course, even though it's dull, but it still has a nice enough of a point to cut through that poster. So, that's it. Speaking of posters and things we're hanging up, I want to talk a little bit about something that's pretty neat. These are all 3 copies, including the original. I guess I'll show the original. This is a concept drawing that I had, and I had an artist draw it up. I do have a thing for pigs and little piggy things and whatnot. So I've also had a lot of really rotten experience with working for corporate entities. I know I've talked about those things in some of these episodes. This is here's the very original. Yes, here is the very, very original one that's even got still all of it pasted together. These were drawings done by a really good friend of mine, Dennis O'Brien. Dennis O'Brien, back in Hawaii, he's an artist that drew up a lot of restaurant logos and other things. There's also Kyoki the donkey in Hawaii. He's like the mascot of these things called donkey balls in Hawaii, and they're delicious. I know that sounds totally just really wrong, but they're a candy. They're like a chocolate macadamia nut or something like that, which I miss terribly. There's a lot of things I have noticed now living out here that I miss from Hawaii. I really do. And don't be surprised if one day this camera turns on and that's where I'm at. Because it might happen. I don't know. I love Hawaii. I really do. I miss it more. I understand it more than I ever have now that I've left, right? But the difficult thing about all that is that I made a lot of good friends here, friends that I now call family, and I have a good job. I love what I do, and I'm doing a job that I couldn't possibly do in Hawaii. And there's a lot of cool things to do out here, and a lot of cool stuff to own, like this, okay, that I couldn't own in Hawaii. But then of course that scale starts weighing. Well, do you really care about them, or do you can you live without them and be happier? So that does tip the scale quite often for me. But there again, I tell you, it would be very hard to make that decision, because now I have made really good friends here and got to be very close to them. And like I said, they've become family. So now I got ties here as well. So anyhow, back to this. Dennis is the guy that I threw him a concept on this thing, and he drew it up for me, and he actually made it. He got it printed on a shirt for me too. He was a really cool guy. I met him while I was working at one of the big box stores, and him and I became very close, and we talked a lot, and I always chatted with him, enjoyed conversations with him. And it was he was just totally awesome. He was just funny. He always made me laugh. We always used to pull things like funky little movie lines from stuff to each other and whatnot. And so Dennis became sick out of the blue too. He became really sick, and he was always like kind of into trying to stay healthy, and he was always taking vitamins and stuff. And that's why it shocked me. He just got sick, and it was like one of his biggest fears. So when he got sick, and then because he's going to treatments and stuff, he couldn't work anymore. So I would still try to find him and contact him, and meet up with him somewhere, and help him shopping and whatnot. So, and then he unfortunately got sicker. And one day somebody had told me, they said, you better call him, somebody that knew him and everything. So I called him. I went on break while I was working, and lunch break, and it was late. And I called him anyway. He picked up, and we talked for a bit. And same old guy, same old Dennis that I always talked to and was friends with. And before he hung up, he says to me, he said, are you happy with life? Are you happy in life? And I said, yeah, I am. He says, good, because it's important to be. He passed away that night. He did. And I miss him dearly. And I've had friends of mine pass away, which is odd, because I always thought that's what happens when you're older. But I guess it's what happens when you also choose to have friends that are 20, 30 years older than you in some cases, 10 years or whatnot. Most of my friends are 10, 15. But I got some other ones that are up there. So, but it's because I feel like, on that note, I feel it's because I'm trapped within I'm born within the time frame of also experiencing rabbit ears on the TV, where we only had your television had like 12 channels, and it was like and Rolodexes, and my dad had a pager. We had a phone that you stuck your finger in there and rang the dial around. We had that extra long extension cord on it thing, so you could crawl into the kitchen with it and stuff like that. We didn't have cell phones. That didn't exist. So Friday night meant go with Dad, go to the video store, rent some VHS tapes of what's up there, what's brand new or whatnot, or go look at the old stuff and go rent Dirty Harry, or go rent the James Bond Dr. No, or Russia with Love, or Thunderball, or A View to a Kill with Roger Moore, something like that. Or he'd tell me, hey, have you ever seen The Shining when the elevator door opens up and about 10 billion gallons of blood pours out? I'm a kid. What? Where? Let's go to a video store and find it and see if we can rent it. Have you ever seen The Birds? And thanks to my father, he turned me on to those movies, and so that's why movies have such a big thing for me, impacting. Where I value older movies. I value the Hitchcock films, Steve McQueen films, all these great things, and so I feel like now there's like just this generation that have zero clue who any of these people are, or what even a VHS tape is. They're born into cell phones and touchpad things and all that, which is fine. That's fine, But I didn't. So for me, I gravitated towards people that were like my father or older that do remember those things, because that's my memories. And so to carry on conversations with them and say, hey, that movie, The Getaway with Ally McCraw, where McQueen actually had to teach her how to drive for the movie, and then he got that shotgun in the store. Yeah, I love talking about that kind of stuff with people, and I notice a lot of you that are my subscribers have that same, what I'm talking about. You've seen the movie, and so that's just it. And so when you have friends like that, and at my age, and then you lose friends, unfortunately, like Dennis OBrien. So, but Dennis, you're a good man. So, I brought out a Rossi 62 to talk about this time. This is cool because these are little pump action 22s. One of the few guns that I own. Very, very seldomly do I buy something for fun. Or let me reword that. With the thought in mind that this would be really cool to take out and go shoot. That's not like I saw that in a movie, I just gotta hang it on the wall kind of thing. No, this one's not related to any movie. It's just really just one I thought I had. I just knew I had to have it. I thought I did, and I knew it. So it's a pump action 22. It's the funnest 22 rifle I have ever owned. Now I've had 10-22s and whatnot, but this is by far, I would take this over a 10-22 any day of the week, any time, second, whatever, because it is truly fun. This is it's just so fun. I love it. A good buddy of mine had said, when I was looking for a pump action rifle in 22, I was looking at the Henry, and he said, get a 62, and he was the one that directed me towards the Rossi. He said, get a Rossi 62. He says they're not very expensive, and you won't pay as much for them as you would a true Winchester. Excuse me. But, so I became kind of obsessed with trying to find one, and so this one I stumbled across out here at a nice good old boy's gun shop, and I saw it there just kind of resting against the shelf. He had just acquired it, so I just kind of had to have it because it was a little carbine model. This is a little short model. This is a 16-inch barreled one. It kind of looks like a little shotgun. So if you haven't seen the video, actually I got it on the channel. It's called Rossi 62 Outdoors or something, where I was actually at good old Dan's secluded ranch somewhere in an undisclosed location, shooting this thing with some pretty interesting ammo out there. And that's what's cool about these things, because they will shoot just about anything. You got shorts, longs, long rifle, it'll shoot it. And that's kind of neat, to load it up with 20 or so shorts and really need no ear protection whatsoever, and just a set of safety glasses and go out there and plink around with it. So That's cool, and it really, and of course, you gotta love the aesthetics of it. Just looks super cool. The thinned out look of it. It just reminds me of the old carnival stuff that I would see photographs of, and some of you probably remember all that Coney Island shooting galleries and stuff. So that's the firearm for the show, and of course. A movie. I wanted to talk about a little movie that one of my favorites. That's an Eastwood film. Big surprise there. It's called Pink Cadillac. Bernadette Peters is in it, and it's really cool. This I believe was like around 88, 89. This came out. It's directed actually by his. I believe the guy was his stunt double, Buddy Van Horn, and they also So I like this one because. It's an action film, but yet it's a comedy. It kind of is funny. It has some funny moments, but yet it's kind of an action film. So it's really neat. He's a skip tracer. Basically, goes after people that have jumped bail, and he's Tommy Nowak. And then of course you got the usual characters that are in a Eastwood film. You got Jeffrey Lewis in it, where he plays the Ricky Z guy in it, and but really neat. I one of the characters I like in it. There's a group of the bad guys. There's always got to be bad guys, right? The Birthright, and there's a guy that they're in there. His name is Waycross, and the main villain, the leader of the camp. He's just that cliche guy with the voice and everything. He's like, all right. The female and Waycross, I want you to go after them. It's just, but that guy has just always been funny to me. That character, and he's been in a lot of other movies. He may not necessarily be the star, but he's like that extra leg or that extra deputy or something like that. Be it somewhere, Wyatt Earp or something. But he's really cool. I forget what his name is. I had it on the tip of my tongue, but I forgot it. It's something, Dennis Johnston, I think is his name. So, but I could be wrong, right? So anyhow, I'm going to get out of here, you guys. I'm sure you're going, man, this radio show is really carrying on this time. But so, I'm going to get out of here. And thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. The poster did not fall on me. So, I thank everybody that has sent me something. I have it. I believe it or not, I have it. I have all the stuff that people have sent me, and I'm just trying to look for places to put it all and display it all in videos and do all that kind of stuff. So, time to do it all, right? So I shall see you all later. Enjoy your weekend. Be safe, and go watch a good movie.